All right, Billy Capabianca here at YSN at Ben's Restaurant in Berlin Center, Ohio. I'm here with the West Reserve Blue Devils football team. Uh, Big turnout tonight, a lot of parents. The support of this community just never seems to disappoint me at all. And now I have the opportunity to sit down with Coach Armeni. Coach, welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. It's my last week doing it. Last week we talked more about life than we did football.
Yeah,
But
I
that's
enjoyed it.
I enjoy it too. A lot of people sent me messages like that was a great interview. I think people at times like to find out more about the person who's leading their kids and
Oh,
and,
sure.
and, and life and things like that. So it made me, and here's a special moment. It made me ask the three players I interviewed tonight, both Nate's and Jack. I said, "Give me a coachable moment that plays on repeat in your head that a coach said to you
Mm.
this season that you use it to get better." And then I said, I don't want to get too deep or screw anybody up, but something that will also help you in life. The thing that, of course, everybody answered it, and the thing that was just amazing to me was Jack Darney said, "Does it have to be a coach?" I said, "No," and he said, "My dad." Right.
Yeah,
So right then, bang! I was like, "Wow,
yeah,
that was a nice moment."
yeah,
And
absolutely.
he said it's a message his dad gave him since he was a little boy about good isn't good enough,
Yeah,
that he tries to apply in
sure.
life. So it's parenting, coaching. There's so many things in a child's life that the fact that Jack said his dad
Yeah,
and that he uses it, that was special for me. So here we are, 7-1,
yeah,
two regular games left in the season, and all the players tonight told me that you tell them that each week you're 0-0,
yeah,
and you're looking to win that first game,
yes,
which of course is a great thing to tell young men, right? So they don't get too far ahead of themselves.
yeah.
But us being adults and mature, let's talk a little bit about these last two regular season games
Okay.
and what your goal as a coach is with this season, these seniors that you
Yeah,
have, and what you would like to for them to take away in this season.
yeah. And the whole premise of being, 0-0, wanting to be 1-0 every week is exactly what you mentioned, to get them to focus on the task at hand. I say that a lot. I feel like I'm a broken record, because their attention span only goes so far. And I know that as a teacher, obviously, and a coach the last 23 years. So I want them to focus on what is in front of them, regardless of who the opponent is or what's at stake. But what's at stake this week is a lot. Mineral Ridge is a really good football team. They have a lot of very good football players. And I told the boys, I had a good moment with the boys. I said, probably my lowest moment as a football coach in this community happened on their field my first year. We were struggling. We had lost a couple of close games, and we were really banged up. And we played Jackson as a freshman. We played Dylan Crude as a freshman. We were starting 4 freshmen in that football game, and Mineral Ridge was a very good playoff team, and they thumped us. And we told the kids after that week, I said, everything that we do has to matter. Every rep, every time you're in the weight room, every sprint has to matter, has to be absolutely your best. I felt like that kind of empowered our staff to coach the way we wanted to coach, and we really got a lot of response from our young kids. And those are the kids we kind of built around, those freshmen and sophomore. And that really paid dividends the last couple years, and I told them, and when I was talking to them about that moment, I saw their eyes kind of get wide, and they really understood what I was talking about because they lived through that moment. And that was not a pretty football game. So we have a vested interest into going back there, in front of that community and putting our best foot forward. We beat them last year in a game on our home field, but I want to go there. I want to go on the road. I want to go beat a good football team on the road, and they are very talented. So it should be a good battle.
Yeah, I had an opportunity to watch the game on YSN, and one thing I will say is, being a alumni at West Reserve, boy, do I love hearing Mineral Ridge is a good football team. I love hearing that because I go back to the ICL days,
Yeah.
and Mineral Ridge was always around,
Oh,
and
very good.
it's cyclical, like
Yeah.
teams come up and teams go down, but here we are in 2024 talking about West Reserve. McDonald was a great football game.
Oh, yeah.
Springfield, Middle Ridge. It's like almost like a snap back in time for me.
Yeah.
These four programs,
Yeah.
being discussed, and I think there's going to be a lot of eyes in the community on that Middle Ridge West Reserve
Yeah.
football game, and it being there, the atmosphere
I
of
know.
it being there. Middle Ridge is special special place for me. That's where my son scored his first high school touchdown as a freshman, and no one saw it coming. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even know why I was in the game.
Yeah.
But running play up the middle, 7-yarder, and he poked it in. So
Nice.
like that field, and my daughter with the basketball and the volleyball
Yeah.
programs, like
Yep.
so. I'm really glad we're having this discussion about Mineral Ridge. So if I follow you correctly, that was a conversation that you had this week with the boys?
Oh, yeah, on Saturday morning, right after we
and you
watched
saw
last
it in
week's
their
film.
eyes.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It is, I always look for things to motivate me, and it's usually not hard to find something that will kind of get under my skin to motivate me. And that was, I like having honest, truthful, raw moments with the kids. I think that, again, we talked about this last week, they can spot a fake.
Yeah.
They can smell that on you. Our boys are smart boys. They figure that out. So I wanted to be honest with them, and I said, this is why I'm excited for this game. I felt like that was one of my lowest moments here, and I want that bad taste out of my mouth.
Yeah, I hope they return and they play for you.
Yeah.
And they play for you. And that's one thing that I talked to Nate about, Hamburger, and compliments. This is my second week doing this, talking to your boys. And that's how the community looks at this. They are your boys for this season. And then the off season, right? So
Sure.
what a fantastic job. Compliments to all the parents and then you and your coaching staff. My goodness, are they professional gentlemen when they're sitting here with me. Respectful. And Nate Hamburger we spoke today about like when things just aren't going your way.
Yeah.
And that's going to happen. And I told him not only in football but in life, like what he tries to do about talking to the kids on the field to get them to refocus.
Yeah.
And and when you're going into a game like this week against Ridge, listen, would it be great if everything went your way and you go in the locker room, right? But you're going in you're going into war here.
Well, it doesn't take anything special to play well when things are going your way. We talked about this last week a little bit with life. Where you really earn your money, where you really prove, your stripes and earn your stripes, prove your medal, all those cliches is that when things go wrong, what do? And we tell our kids that's when you get to work. Like that's the moment where you got to dig in. You dig your heels in and you get to work. I tell the kids, grab a shovel. That's one of my sayings. Grab a shovel. Let's start shoveling. There's work to be done, and that's what we need to do. And if you can impress that upon them now when they're 15, 16, 17, 18, then they got a shot when they're in their 30s and 40s.
They sure do.
You and I both know that, life gets harder as you get older, and the stakes are much higher. So you got to be good at that. That's something that has to be ingrained in you. And honestly, that's what really makes me motivated to do what I do. With all the other things that can go wrong and all the other, stuff where you have to deal with the problems and, this didn't go right or this person's upset with you. And, oh, you got to do this and that.
Grab a shovel.
Yeah, you get to work because you have to believe in what you're doing for them. And someone did that for me along the way. And that's why I've had success. That's why, personally and professionally, so that's what we're trying to do for them.
Right.
And honestly, I'm glad you brought up the community because it's a team effort. And you can say whatever you want, but, I get them for 2 hours a day at practice. As a teacher, you get them for 7, but they're only in class with me for 42 minutes a day. So it takes all the teachers to be on the same page. It takes the principal, and we got great ones. Mr. Gorby, Michael Gorby does a great job.
Who's here tonight to support?
I mean,
unbelievable. You know the responsibility of administrators.
Oh, yeah.
No one knows it more than you, but, winter sports are coming. So that's Monday, that's Tuesday.
Yep.
That's Wednesday with, maybe not Wednesday. It's usually junior high day, but right back at it on Thursday and Friday.
Friday, yep.
And here's Mr. Gorby coming up here,
Yep.
being a part of the community
and
with
again,
the football team.
The kids see that.
Yeah.
They can spot it. They can spot it when it's not important to you. And they know that it is to him, which is why, they respect him and they'll do whatever he asks of them. And that's a big thing. Our superintendent is great. We talked about him last week. Our parents, our community, our coaches of other sports. I mean, it really has to be a team effort. And that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
That's why I'm excited to do what I do and help the kids.
And to speak, and just to solidify Coach Armeni's message right now, life's busy, and being a football coach, and any family member of a football coach will identify that. But talking about buying in a community, sitting to my left at a table over here is the coach's wife and his 3 children that are here to support dad and husband at because he's been gone probably since 6 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, just
Right,
about.
been gone since 6 o'clock this
Yeah.
morning, and had to come here, meet with YSN. It's part of his head coaching duties to sit down and talk to YSN and me for 10, 15 minutes. And you look to the left, and here's his family here,
Yeah.
his three babies and his wife. And he mentioned earlier that he's been successful, that he used these messages to become successful in his professional and personal life. And the most that message is spread by over here to my left, his 3 babies and his wife. Coach, I think that's a perfect message on how to wrap up.
Yeah.
Is there any final words you have to say going into this big week and for the community to hear and get their butts to Middle Ridge this week?
I mean, it is always great when you get the support, because that is a real shot in the arm for our kids, gets them excited in pregame. And that's an important moment, to get them kind of revved up pregame. But lots to play for this week. Next week is Jackson Milton, and those are rivalry games where you throw the records out.
Yeah.
And I'm an old school Western Reserve ICL guy, and that's like, who do you want to play? Who do you want to beat? And it's like, McDonald, Jackson Milton, so those are the first teams that come to my mind, and our boys get excited for that game too. So there's an awful lot on the line. We've had a great start. We've clinched a playoff berth, but, we want to play in front of our fans. So right now what's on the line is home playoff games. The league title could still be up for grabs. So those are things that we, goals that we set at the beginning of the year that we want to kind of still go after.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Coach, keep coaching. You were born
Thank
to
you.
do it.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you, sir. All right, Billy Capabianca wrapping up out here at Ben's Restaurant for YSN, the Devil Hour. Thank you.